Hi folks, welcome back. So in this set of video, let's talk about a couple of examples. So in the previous video, we already, learned what is this customize is all about and basically, introduction to customize and what are the different features of customize and all those things. So now let's go, one step further and explore the customize in detail through several examples. So these examples, the way I have designed is feature specific. So the different customization features, whatever it is available, so according to that, I have designed and designed these examples. So now let's go to one particular example here called customize hello world. So just like any other customization files, I mean the customization format. So we have something called as base here. So this base consisting of three Kubernetes resources. The first one is config map.yaml. So here I am defining just the name of the config map and two literals, basically alt greeting and enable risky, uh, you know and then the deployment. So the typical deployment structure, of the Kubernetes, where it is taking the number of replicas as one and some of the labels, all those things which I'm sure every one of you are already aware. And then I am passing this config map as an environment variable by giving the reference as a key. So the name of the config map, the first key, and then the second key. So that's a very straightforward implementation of config map with Kubernetes deployment. And then I'm creating a service file which is of type cluster IP, which is referencing this deployment, and the service name is the service. And then there is a special file called customization.yaml, which I was giving an explanation during the introduction. So here you see this is the API version for customization. So in some places you might see this is missing, but still it will work. It's not mandatory that you have to give this, but for a good set of practices, it's always recommended to give the API definition and the kind. So now if you see here, I'm defining something called as common labels, which is like app is app is hello, that is applicable for all the overlays. I'm doing two overlays here, means basically these set of deployments I'm customizing and deploying into production environment and then staging environment here. So that is the reason why if you see in the resource section, the files which are subjected to customization are deployment, your service, and then your config map. So that's very straightforward. Now let's go to production and see what is that customization we are doing. So here you see the deployment I am overriding. So in the main deployment file, number of replicas I am giving 1, whereas here in the production I am giving 3. So that's the override or customization I am doing. So now because I'm doing that, so I was mentioning, in the previous video, in the introduction, I told there are two type of patches, basically a JSON patch and a strategic merge patch. But now in the modern syntax, you need not to mention the names, and just by mentioning the patches, you can mention any number of files here through providing the path. It's not that mandatory that you need to mention it as a patch.yaml and all. So this is the classic example which demonstrate the latest sort of changes. So here you see I'm using one of the customization feature which I was showing in the introduction, that generators and the transformers and all. So this is one of the transformer where I'm giving the name prefix. That means the deployment which starts for production will be prefixed with production. That means if you go to the deployment YAML, the deployment name is the deployment, which is gonna change to uh, production hyphen the deployment. And along with the labels whatever I have given here, which is app hello, I'm giving two more. I'm which is like variant production and org make corporation, something like that. And then I'm giving you the common annotation as well along with the labels. And if you see here resource, I'm passing all the resources which are subjected to customization, basically these three which I'm passing here, and then the patches. The path for that would be this one. So for example, if I'm making some changes to config map, then I can give one more hyphen path and that file name. That's simple, it's very simple. So now similarly in the stage, I'm doing the customization as per the stage. So here in this case, I'm defining something called as map.yaml, where I'm overriding my config map, whereas in the config map of the base looks like something, good morning, alt greetings, and enable key has this value. So which I am going to override. Let's compare both. So this is the original, and here if you see that I'm changing it to have a pineapple from good morning, and then changing from false to true. That's straightforward, you know. The same thing I'm applying it as a patch. So now let's go and try this example. So let's first, you know, build the customization and then we'll apply. So I am in that particular directory now. So now let me go to customization, uh, hello world folder. So here I have all those things. Now the command to do this is customize, build, and then inside overlay, I'm trying to build. So in the overlay, we have two, which is staging and production. Let's try to build the staging. So now if you see here, it's just building, it's still not deploying. So I was mentioning about some of the deprecated variables here. So you can see here, now the have common labels has been renamed as just labels and all. This is, you know, constantly subjected to change over a period of time because the API definitions are getting changed, the customization version is getting changed. All those things are happening. So you can expect some sort of changes at the deployment definitions and then the customization labels definition, all those things, you know, which is expected, of course. So now if you see here, the customization as for this is the config map. If you see, it is changed because if in the stage example, I have given it as, you know, this one, which is basically the good morning is getting overridden by have pineapple and false is getting overridden by true. So that is what it is already generated. And then metadata annotation also, hello, I am staging. So this is common annotation which is applicable for all the resources. Service also it is applied. Similarly for deployment also it is applied. Now in deployment you can see here staging hyphen, which is what, you know, we have given here. In the core deployment definition it is not there, whereas in staging customization I have given a staging hyphen. So that is what it is doing. And you know, and then the corresponding config map change, staging config hyphen, you know, the map. So that's very straightforward thing. So now you can deploy it in a two-way. So customization build and then kubectl apply hyphen f and then hyphen using this, or directly you can do kubectl apply hyphen k overlay staging. That's simple, you know, it's straightforward method. Let's wait for this deployment to complete. So it's giving some sort of an error. Config map is created and then kind not set, API version not set, and kind not set, which is in the customization YAML, which is in validation dot staging. So here, so what we will do is we will pick this and we will replace that both for this and production, and then we'll reapply this. Oh, I know why it did not deploy, because I have used hyphen F. It was subjected to, I mean, I was supposed to give K. If it had given K, it would have automatically understood that this is a customization file. It's my bad. Sorry for that. So now if you see, this is created. Now let's see the deployments, parts, service, config map, which are created as a part of this. See, it's already working. We have the deployment staging, which is number of replicas is 1, and we have created the config map and then the map as well. And we have the service, okay, which is staging the service. Now similarly, you know, let's build the production one and deploy that as well. So see here, it's already you know, completed for production as well. So production is inheriting the same config map. Here I'm not changing anything. So here just the customization which I'm doing here is number of replicas, which I'm changing from 1 to 3. So that is what is given here. So let's go and deploy. So this time, you know, let's do in a second manner, which is kubectl apply hyphen f hyphen. So I have demonstrated both the process. One is directly using kubectl apply hyphen k. Second one is after building how to apply it using Kubernetes. So both will work. It's up to individuals, how they want to. So now similarly, let's go and see. So it's done. Now you see here the production deployment with 3 replicas. You can see here, and then you have a production service as well, production config map as well. So that's a simple example to demonstrate these usage of common labels and the using the patching techniques directly via patch command. So those things. So let's remove this and try with the next example. Even removal is also straightforward. So this we have applied like this. That's why I have deleted like this. Similarly, if we go to the stage, I will delete like this. So it's deleted now. Now you go and check all the resources. It should show 0. Oh, I know why this is not deleted because I have applied it initially using kubectl-f. That is the reason why it did not delete, or else customize will delete. So I will delete this manually. It's because of my mistake which is still present here. That's all. So now that we have cleaned up, let's go to the next example. So in the first example, we have covered a couple of features. So let's recall what and all we have learned. So we did, learn about usage of name prefixes, common labels, common annotations, and then patches. So these are all the features which are specific to customize we have learned in this Hello World example. Now let's go to the second example where we will try to see how we can override the image which is present in the base. So if you see here, I have an example of customize hyphen image where a typical base and then the overlay structure. In the base, I have a sample deployment for engineer, latest, which number of replicas as 2. So just to let's keep it just one, so that it would be faster to spin up. And then in the customization, the only file which is subjected to customize here is the resource, sorry, the deployment, which is defined under the resource section. And then in the overlays, I have two environments, basically dev and production. So in the dev customization, I am referencing the base, and then I'm applying the patch called Nginx patch. In the Nginx patch, what I am doing is I'm just changing the Nginx version from one Nginx latest to 1.19.6 with the new name Nginx. And similarly, for the production, what I am doing, I'm just doing the resource changes, whatever it is there in the base. I'm just giving the specific CPU and memory plus the image version of Nginx as well. I'm changing. Okay, now let's try to deploy this and see. So now I am inside the customize image directory. So now let me try to do build customize build overlay. I have to. I am trying to do this. Now it's giving me the error something with the config missing colon. I might be missing something in the syntax. Let me check that, which is here. Everything is correct here. What is missing? Don't know. Let's take this and change the patch definition. Maybe 20 here. Try maybe syntax error. Oh yeah, it's a syntax error. There you go. I mean, it's good, to see the troubleshooting part as well. So in this case, now if you see, when I do this, it is changing my Nginx image from Nginx latest to Nginx 1.20. That is what I have defined inside a patch. Similarly, and the resources and all, it is giving me 500 milli and all those things which is coming from the base template as a default, even though you don't define. Now let's change that, because that is what I'm doing here in the production. Now let me do this, change it to 400, and maybe this one I'll change it to 118, and maybe this one to 54, and change it to maybe uh, around 350 for example. So now let's try. Let's build it with production and see. Yep, there you go. It is changing. It is changing the Nginx version as well. So it's a straightforward thing. Now, if you want, you can always go back and deploy this. So now let's deploy the production one. So sorry, dev one, which is kubectl apply hyphen f hyphen. Now it's deploying the dev. Maybe the production will deploy it in a different manner. Kubectl apply hyphen k overlay production. So uh, you can see here, it's giving me the deprecation messages, like the basis is now getting replaced with resource, and patch strategic merges gets replaced with patches and all. This is as per the latest definition and all. You can always, go back and fix that and, start using it. So now if you see kubectl deployments and parts, so you should be able to see both. It's pending because I have only one Kubernetes node for the demonstration purpose, and that too with just 2 core CPU and 4 GB memory. Yeah, I think it's the resources consumption is more. That is the reason why it's not spinning up the other one. So for demonstration purpose, what I can do is if I delete the maybe the deployment for which one I did first one, right? So what I will do, this one if I delete, then the second one should work. I for now wide. I think the second one it did not apply only because of the resource. Maybe if you want, you can always go back and deploy again. Overlay production. So it's deployed now. Now let's check the parts. It's creating now. Yeah, I mean it's a resource issue because for the demonstration purpose I spinned up my GKE just with one node. So ideally in the production environment or dev or QA, you will have sufficient number of nodes to show it. So they should work. There you go. So now what I will do, since it is working, I'll just remove it. So side by side, I'm showing both the kind of a deployment methods and even the removal both, so that you are more familiar with, sort of an approach. So now, since we have completed the second example where we have touch based on image override. So now let's go back to the, third example where we will see this config and management. Maybe I will take an example of secret. So in this example, customize secret, just like any other, let me close all this so that there is no confusion. So just like any other customization file, it has base and overlay. So in the base, I have the deployment definition of Nginx where I am referencing the secret as an environment from section here as an environment as a, referencing the secret. So inside a customization, so the only file which is subjected to customization is deployment.yaml. Since still there is no reference of secret creation here, which can be dynamically created, as I said, using the secret generator object. So that is what I'm doing in the dev customization. So if you see in the resource section, I'm referencing the base and dynamically I'm creating a secret with the help of the secret name is app secret, and I'm giving two literals, the database URL which is dev database URL, app key, dev API key, and the type of the secret which is on OPEC format. Similarly, if you go to the production, so it would be like prod database URL and prod API key, and the secret name would be still same because this is what I'm mounting inside my deployment YAML. So it's a straightforward and simple mechanism. Now let's go back and test if this is working. See some of the examples I'm fixing on spot here if any syntax issue and all, which is commonly expected, because these are the examples which I tried some time back, and or I did upgrade my customization version and the Helm version and the kubectl version and all. So you can expect some sort of syntax updates or some sort of colon missing here and there, which is always good. We can fix on spot and live so that even we learn how to tackle the errors as well. So that is the reason why I'm not removing, during recording all these sections. Purposefully, I'm keeping so that you guys can even learn how to troubleshoot this. So let's check this example now. So let's go to secret. Now directly, let's try to build, customize, build, overlay. We have two overlays. Let me build a dev. So you can see here it has created a secret dynamically, and then it did try to mount it. So you can see here an additional hash here. So remember that whenever customize creates the secrets through config generator, it adds some or config generator or even secret generator, both kind of a generators, it adds this extra hash value. However, if you don't want this hash value, you can always go back and uh, override this, or you can stop this behavior using providing an hash override parameter, which you can always go back and find this in the documentation. But I suggest to keep so that you will come to know who is changing it, or because every time when you change or modify, it ensures that a new hash ID is created. So that is the reason. One way it is good to be, like if somebody has modified it, it is easy to track and all. But if you don't want this behavior in the production environments and all, as I said, you can put that hash removal variable. It will take care of that. You can find that in the documentation. It's I'll show you how about maybe at the end of the videos, I'll show you in the documentation what are all the different references you can have, because in this set of videos I try to cover almost all the scenarios so that you are fully aware about this. Yet it is always good to go back to the documentation and find for any missing things. So similarly, when you do for prod, you can see here it's the prod secrets and the prod variables. For example, this key, and let's take this one and check whether it has generated the literal as per the key as per the prod or not. So you can see it's a prod database URL. That means the secret how we are expected it to be created, it has created. If you want, you can go and apply. Just for saving the time purpose and all, I'm not going to apply, because even if I'm apply, same results you are getting. So these are all tested scripts which are available in my GitHub URL. So if you go to this is my GitHub URL. So I'll be providing at the end of the video series where I have maintained all these examples. I made it public so that anybody can pull out this repo and start playing with this. I have not put any restriction on this repo. So I repeat, these are tested, fully tested. However, over a period of time, if customized version is getting changed and all, if some of the values are deprecating, you are expected to change that. Like for example, common labels to just labels, bases to resources, something like that as per the version. Okay, so now that we have covered some of the basic features, So we will see, learn more aspects in the next video through some more examples. Until then, see you. Please do subscribe to my channel and support me. Thank you so much.